Hello, Commander. This is Admiral, and I'm going to give you an overview of the Exploration View mode, utilizing scouts for dropping probes, finding and completing missions and solar flares, locating enemy outposts, sabotaging enemy outposts and stations, and utilizing and protecting yourself from signal interference. This will allow you to find and exploit opportunities in the environment around you and in combat against others. So, let's dive in. Here we are in the exploration view mode. In order to switch to that, you can hit the space bar a couple times, depending on what view mode you're in. We can see that we've got a scout fleet ready, one scout. All you need is one scout, at least one scout in a fleet to drop a probe. Uh, each mission will drop mission hints all around it based on the level of the mission. So a level 1 mission will have a radius of hints of 1 around the mission. So we can tell that there's going to be a mission right there. So we're going to check that out, reveal that mission. And I was right. There was a mission, and we can right click and click View Mission. From here, you've got some great artistic work, some description, as well as the reward cache. You also have the signal interference. In order to outright reveal the mission, if you wanted to land a probe around it but not directly on it, you would need a scan strength of 510, but more on that later. In this case, for this mission, we need enough ships with firepower and a defensive fleet and one escort. So we sent in 2 fleets, that's 1 escort, and enough firepower to complete the mission. If you don't have enough firepower, you won't be able to complete the mission if you don't meet the requirements. However, there is a recommended requirement as well. If you meet the recommended requirement, you won't be hit with a return speed penalty. So as long as you meet the minimum, you'll be fine. So we'll go ahead and send these fleets out to that mission. And that mission will then get completed. And now you can see where you had dropped your probe. So we can see the probe lasts 24 hours from the time it was dropped. Around that probe is the radius of the probe's scanning strength. And so the idea, we'll go ahead and use a maxed out fleet, is to try to reveal missions. Once your scouts get strong enough, once you have big enough fleets, you can drop, oh, looks like I revealed a mission hint for a higher level mission. But let's see here, not to confuse you. Let's see if we can, I don't see any other level 1 missions. But let's say we don't know where the mission is here. With a higher scan strength, we can drop a probe close enough, and the scan strength in the radius of the probe may reveal additional missions. In this case, we can see that the scan strength of the probe was 405, but it wasn't enough to reveal any missions around it in a radius of 1. Let's try again. Oh, well, I just sent all my fleets, but that should definitely reveal something. Look at that. So because we had such a huge scan strength of all of our fleets, we were able to reveal all the missions around it. Not all, but most. And you can see we didn't have to drop a probe directly on the mission to reveal it. That's what scan strength gives us. Additionally, we've got the scanner outpost. The scanner outpost affects your station's scan strength. So our station scan strength, I don't know if you can see it, but it actually has a radius around the station and gives you basic scan strength around the station for, right now it's 110. So you have 10 is your base scan strength, and then each level of the scanner outpost gives you an additional 100 scan strength for that station. So that's where we get to see these hints. Without a scanner station, you're only going to see level 1 mission hints with a 1 radius around it. So don't level up your scanner outpost too quickly, otherwise you'll start getting higher level mission hints for missions you can't complete, and then you'll start getting a map like this where it becomes rather challenging to identify where the mission is. I'm going to take a look at this and see that I'm going to look for a mission, an easy to identify mission. So here's a good example. This might be a level 2 mission in the middle right here because it only takes a distance of 2 hexes from 3 points to get to the center. So that looks like a level 2 mission to me, so I will send a scan directly in the middle and we'll see if I'm right. And I was. And you'll see that it changes the map and reveals, it changes the hints. What we see here with the orange hexes is those are overlapping hints. That means that 2 missions are close enough where some of their hints are overlapping. So here we've got quite a bit of overlapping hints and some that aren't overlapping. So here's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking there might be a level 1 mission here, a level 1 mission here, and maybe another mission somewhere around here. Let's see if I'm right. Reason why I think there's one here is because this kind of looks like maybe it could be a level 1 mission with this radius of hints. And I was right. However, after revealing this, now I'm thinking maybe there might not be another level 1 mission here. Let's see here. We've got a radius of 2 in 3 angular points, so that might be a safe bet. We'll try to drop a probe there. And then we'll see if I was right about there being a level 1 mission here. There's a level 2, and after revealing this level 2 mission, we can see that, in fact, there is a level 1 mission here. So we still have some more hints, though. So let's see. With what's left, this looks like it's going to be a level 1 mission in the middle here. And you can see, so as you start to reveal missions, your hints change, making it easier to identify the rest of the missions. Alright, so we went over the scanner outpost and the benefits of that. Don't level it up too quickly, otherwise you'll start getting way too many hints for missions you can't even complete yet. I would recommend not building one until you can start doing level 2s if you believe you have enough ships, then building a level 1 to get the level 2 hints. As you level up that scanner outpost, it's really going to show you much higher level hints. Alright, and next is we went over the signal interference here for a mission. You can tell that higher level missions have a higher signal interference, which means you may need to drop higher scan strength probe, in this case, to outright reveal, like I said earlier, the mission within its radius. Well, we revealed more hints because we had a higher scan strength. This is going to be most likely for a higher level mission, level 3 or more. But because this probe's radius is 1, it didn't reveal. I think there's a mission here. Let's see. And there are cards to increase the radius of your probes as well, so keep that in mind. There are also Machiavellian policies. Look at that. And there's our level 2 mission. So that's kind of the benefit of scan strength versus the signal interference of a mission. Because we had a scan strength of 805 because of these 2 fleets, we can now reveal within the radius of the probe any other missions that have a lower signal interference value. Alright, so no matter what, however, even with just one scout, you can reveal a mission if you drop it on the mission. Remember that. Now, let's go on to scan probing enemy stations. So we've got another player here, an enemy. We can see that he's close enough to our station where his station falls within our scan strength. But our scan strength right now is only 110. So at 110, we can see some tier 1 outposts. We've got a scanner and a mining facility. and we can see that their interference is 110, which matches our strength, so it's revealed. Okay, we could try to sabotage it. Okay, and more on sabotage later. But let's see, if we want to attack this station, do we really think that's all his outposts? Well, there may be other outposts with a higher signal interference. And what I mean by that is this graph right here. If you go on Discord, you can get a copy of this, and it will tell you how much scan strength and signal interference is required to reveal and hide from players. So the idea is level 1 mission hints have a signal interference of 10. Level 2 mission hints is 110. So that's why we could see right now level 1 and 2 mission hints. Level 3 mission hints requires 210 scan strength. So without using our higher scan strength probes, we're not going to see level 3, 4, 5 mission hints. Once our station's scan strength or our probes are high enough to beat these signal interference levels, any missions within the radius of the probe are automatically revealed. Okay, same thing with outposts. So let's see here. We can see that tier 1 outposts have 110 signal interference, and because our scanner plus a level 1 level 1 scanner plus our station matches 110, we could see those two tier 1 outposts. But we don't see any tier 2, 3, or assembly outposts. We also don't see any tier 4 outposts. So let's see what happens when we drop a probe. Very strong probe. Right on the enemy station. We're going to scan, drop a probe, and see what happens. Does he have any other outposts? Look at that. Yes, he does. But our radius is only 1. So his claim radius is 2. You can see as we mouse over that the claim radius goes all the way out. So he may have additional outposts hidden. So I might want to have a scout fleet with an increased probe radius. Let's see what that looks like. We're going to go for scan speed. We're going to go for probe duration, so the probe lasts longer. Eyes in the sky. Now we can go for signal interference or probe radius. In this case, if we go for probe radius, we won't be able to apply signal interference, and so the enemy may see that we're probing his station. In this case, we'll do scan probe radius, but if you don't want the enemy to see you're coming, you may want to focus more on signal interference for your fleet. More on that. Alright, so we've got this, and we're going to drop another probe. Now let's see how our probe changes. Look at that. Our probe has a very high radius now. We just applied some legendary cards, and so now with our scan strength of 500 on that fleet, we can reveal so much more. Did he have any more outposts? Well, it certainly doesn't look like it. We're not sure. Scan strength of 500 doesn't reveal all the outposts that a player can have. Well, it actually might. So I don't see any more. So we're going to go ahead and try to spy the station. Okay, this is espionage at its finest. So after doing that, we get a spy report. Alright, so we can see in fact that he only has 3 outposts. He's got a fleet of 20 scouts defending his station and his outposts from sabotage, and he's got several in the hangar. Now might be a good time to strike because hangared fleets are much less effective. I've got 1,500 scouts, he has 20. I'm going to try to sabotage him. Let's say I want to sabotage his mining facility, as his mining facility may generate labor for him if he's near an ice field. Looks like he's not, but let's say one of these were an ice field and he's mining ice off of it, that would give him labor. If I sabotage this, he loses that labor. If he's using that labor on his fleets, those fleets will then become subject to a labor penalty, making them extremely ineffective. And that's the purpose of sabotage. You sabotage the enemy stations, uh, outposts, for example, one of which can be labor. There can also be defensive outposts, such as a missile battery, which we don't see here. Unfortunately, he doesn't have a fortress or a missile battery or a navy base, but those are defensive outposts that would help repel an attack. You can sabotage them to make them ineffective. In this case, let's say there were several enemy fleets here. We could try to sabotage their labor to make them go into labor penalty before our actual attack lands. And that will help us in swaying the battle to our favor. So we're going to go ahead and try to sabotage an outpost. Let's see. Let's sabotage his mining facility. And looks like our sabotage has completed. You can see right here that it's damaged, so it is no longer generating resources. And we can take a look at what that sabotage report looks like. His defending scouts got wiped out due to our overwhelming odds. In this case, we still had enough firepower after we lost our ships to beat the sabotage defense of the outpost, and therefore we were able to sabotage the outpost. If he had more units and wiped out our fleets or reduced them so much that our firepower or sabotage damage fell under the 10,000 sabotage defense threshold, then we would not have sabotaged the outpost. Alright, now let's take another look at this. If we want to sabotage or drop a probe on a station and we don't want the enemy to know what we're doing, we need to right click. Let's go over sabotage, and let's look at the statistics. In this case, the ship signal interference is only 366. So if he has a probe on his station of a high enough signal interference, well, he may see me coming. But that signal interference looks odd. It's 366, right? What's happening is it takes the average of the fleets you're deploying. So if you only had one fleet with signal interference of 400, your fleet now, well, actually, let's unselect that one. Okay, so now we've got only one fleet. Let's do that again. Yes, our ship signal interference is 500. That's going to be a lot harder to spot. So make sure when you're carding your fleets for signal interference that you card them equally. Otherwise you get a lower average, which may reveal all of the fleets incoming to the enemy. Okay? So we can see that outposts have signal interference, and you need enough scan strength to reveal them. In this case, the Stargate has 250. So when we drop the probe, we revealed the outpost. We can also utilize signal interference offensively to hide our fleet so the enemy won't see us coming, in either dropping the probe or in the event of trying to sabotage an outpost. You can also try to sabotage the station. In this case, when you sabotage a station and you succeed, you are effectively preventing the station from being able to send out or receive ships for 5 minutes. In this case, you can see the timer sabotage for 5 minutes. He cannot escape with his fleets. And so if your hammer lands within 5 minutes, you can wipe them out, and there's nothing he can do about it. Or she. So that is sabotage. Let's take a look at here. We've got cards sabotaging. Recons. That's right. We're going to go ahead and take a look at recons. Recons are essentially the heavy version of the scout. They're not great for dropping probes. As you can see, their scan strength is only 2, which is basically 2 scouts. but they have a lot of firepower and hit points. This is effective for both defending and attacking in sabotage movements. So keep that in mind. Also, for the players who really enjoy the information, spy, espionage, sabotage game, there's a set of policies for the Machiavellian style players to really enhance on dropping probes, enhance on spying, enhance on sabotaging, and so on, so forth. So take a look at those policies and decide if Machiavellian is right for you. Another thing to note is when you sabotage an enemy station as a Machiavellian player, there are also other benefits. Um, and you can take a look at the policies to see what those benefits are. I believe I've went over everything with regards to sabotage, spying, dropping probes. So keep in mind, when you want more information, check out Discord, and you can also check out the tasks with regards to sabotage. There are task achievements for dropping probes with rewards. Read the description. Same thing with outposts. You can learn a lot about the game through these achievement descriptions. There's also, let's see, we got sabotage, we got deploy 20 probes. There can be some other great benefits. Take a look through here, see what else you can do. Successfully spy 5 stations, and you can see information about what that gives you. Actually, let's do that. We're going to spy the station. Usually you want to spy before performing any kind of movement. Unfortunately, I don't have any spies available for me. 8 minutes. Let's see if we can fix that. Ah, here we go. There we go. So now I've got some spy operatives I can use. So we can use these spy operatives to initiate a fake attack, or we can turn around and spy. Usually you're going to want to spy the enemy before you take any actual fleet movements against him. The spy reports, depending on how strong your spy strength is, can give you very important information. I believe we went over some of this earlier, yep. But now you can see that the outpost is damaged. In this case, we didn't wipe out the scouts in the enemy hangar because they were not in fleets. There are other policies, depending on the player and depending on the path, that will allow you to wipe out enemy ships in the hangar. Alright, we can see here this station has a lot of resources. We may consider raiding them for those resources. If you don't want to be spied on, there are cards, policies, buildings to help you increase your total spy defense, and that will help you prevent this information going into the hands of your enemies. Also, if you do have a high spy defense, you may actually find out that you are being spied on and react accordingly. Alright, well that will be the end of this tutorial. Thank you for your time. If you have any other further questions, check out Discord. Go ahead and reach out to me there or ask any of the other players. We also have online guides being developed, and it can really help you further your progress in the game. Alright, take care.